This is the most important election of our lives, as cliche as that is, it is, but it's so much bigger. There is a cancer in our body politic, and you can't negotiate with cancer. You can't ignore cancer. You have to address cancer. You have to eliminate cancer, or it kills you. We have a cancer in our government, and it is going to kill us. It wants to kill us. And the first step towards getting healthy again is getting a new leadership in there, or getting the old leadership back. And then I really do believe that he's going to have, now he knows where the tumors are.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to surround himself with people that are going to be able to
I think in 4 years he can solve enough of our problems to get us to reverse course. I've never seen historically a nation as corrupt as we are now reverse the corruption without bloodshed.
I think it's a matter of scales. You're right. But I don't think we could survive without him.
Yeah.
And what is he going to be able to accomplish in 4 years needs to be judged against what would have happened if he wasn't elected.
Yes.
Right? So I do think that whatever expectations we have perhaps should be tempered. Let's address the first thing first. Let's stop hemorrhaging money. Let's stop with inflation. I love what he's doing with tariffs. And I know there's a lot of supply side guys, Reagan guys are like, you can't do tariffs. You can't compete against slave labor. All tariff is, just keep it very simple. I was a bouncer for a long time. You got to pay to get into VIP, baby.
Right.
All right. This is an entry fee into the American marketplace.
Right.
Alibaba's operating.
And it makes American manufacturing more competitive.
Alibaba, well, the prices are going to go up. Okay. I personally believe, and I think his team's saying the same thing. I think the American consumer is tapped out. I don't think we can afford more.
I'm tapped out. I can't remember the last time my gas tank was full. I fill it up $15 at a time.
Tapped out.
Tapped out.
So now, China's got to make a decision. Alibaba's got to make a decision. Are you going to operate at 80% margins and raise our prices? Or are you going to bring yourself down to 60% margins?
Right.
Keep the prices the same and pay the fee to do business in America in the most profitable market on earth. And if they say no and try to get into a trade war, India's right there to say.
Not to mention the national security threat of the fact that all of our pharmaceuticals practically come from China. So what if we go to war with China? Does it mean that nobody gets medicine?
Hey, what I love about Trump, what I love about what he did two things in his first administration that got them saying, this guy's got to go. Number one, no wars. Turned off the war machine. Number two, he got us out of all of the payola slush funds. No Paris Accords. No WHO. NATO, you got to pay. You want protection? He grew up around the mile. Oh, you want protection? You got to pay the VIC. You want America to save you? America's happy to do it.
Absolutely.
Bills come due on the first.
Whether or not
Who's running the country, Chase?
No one. Deep state.
Who's running the country?
It's run by committee, man. It's like Enron. Like, whose fault was that? When you have a massive company like that doing terribly corrupt things, it's hard to point at one person doing it.
George Bush kind of stuff. I mean, it's remarkable to me. It's remarkable to me to see. I marched against Bush and Cheney in college. No blood for oil.
Yeah.
And
did you ever run into Alex Jones? He was marching against Bush and Cheney.
Now we've gone from Bush's Hitler all the way to them using the Cheneys and the Bush's endorsement as a reason not to vote Republican.
Yeah, that's deep. That's dark.
I mean, just think about.
That's why you got to buy the dark MAGA hat at the Alex Jones store.
That was a professional plug right there. That's how you do it. That's dark. The world's ending. But before it does, put on a dark MAGA hat. For only $29.99, you can look great as the Armageddon sweeps down amongst us.
Yeah, but I'm with you. And here's the thing that puzzles me about Kamala Harris, and I talked with Candace about this a little bit when I was on her podcast. On the one hand, it's very obvious that she's stupid. But on the other hand, we shouldn't underestimate the audacity and ability of these people to be incredibly efficient at gaining political power. So yes, I know Kamala Harris started her career on her knees. There's a lot of women that are willing to get on their knees for a job. For a job, yeah. And she must be competent at some level politically in order to get to the point that she's got. But at the same time, every time she speaks, it's obvious that she's so dumb. Like, I don't get it. How can you be so dumb and so powerful in this country?
Well, I think, one, we're underestimating how much of the Democratic machine is really just kind of like a sex cult. Really, when it comes down to it, these people are just banging each other, and this is how you get ahead. And that's, I don't care. You want to talk about Ted Kennedy, you want to talk about Bill Clinton.
Maybe that's why Hillary never got elected, because nobody in power wanted to bang her.
No, I know you're joking, but I don't think that I think there's a reason why they didn't get behind her one way, because nobody wanted to get behind her, right? I mean, I learned it. I was just down at Fantasy Fest in Key West, and I learned there's really no such thing as swingers. There's a cheater, and then there's a closet homosexual that they're married to. That's really what the lifestyle is. And if you can explain anything that more
you talking about destiny? You talking about destiny?
the Clinton marriage. If you can think of anything that more it was fantasy, I was like, oh, this is everybody here's a Clinton. I got it. So there's that, and then I also think the sad truth is that they know and they appeal to either the dumbest or really the most vulnerable people in our society.
Or most brainwashed.
Well, that's the thing. They're easy to brainwash vulnerable people, where people are desperate and people feel othered and ostracized and they're not successful, and they come in and they say, no, it's not because you're smoking 14 packs of cigarettes a day and you don't know how to balance a budget. It's because you weren't born in the right gender. It's not you. It's this evil society, and if you come with us, we'll fix it. I mean, this is straight out of Gramsci. I mean, it's straight communist rhetoric, and it's abusive and it's predatory, and they know that they can say whatever they want, because what do they have on the other side is shame. Like, if I question it for a second, everybody else jumps down my throat and go, "Oh, he's a convicted rapist." And I was like, then you start saying, "Wait, he's not a convicted this or."
Well, if you look at the most corrupt nations, in either contemporary or history-wise, there is definitely a correlation between the amount of political power that an individual or a federal government has and the amount of suffering of the people. So North Korea is a perfect example of this. He has, Kim Jong-un, 99.9% support, and I believe actually genuine support in North Korea, because he is basically universally powerful, and he has universally brainwashed the entire base of that nation. I mean, you look at the footage of their special forces units that are training. They're smashing concrete bricks over their abs before they're sending them to fight in the war in Ukraine on behalf of Russia. And so my point is, the left doesn't want to solve your problems. Your problems are the reason the left is in power. They don't want to take their whole solve the problems, would just ruin their whole platform. You always have to have problems with drugs. You always have to have problems with obesity. You always have to have problems with the economy or finding jobs. That is how they get elected. That's why you see the same crime rates in the same neighborhoods after 50 years of Democrat after Democrat after Democrat being elected to so-called solve these problems.
Yeah, they've been fighting racism for 70 years.
Yeah.
And they still say the biggest problem in America is racism. So either they're lying
hire
or
somebody
they're
else.
really bad at fighting racism. Like,
Exactly.
so which one is it?